You're living through the great shift, and nothing will ever be the same. They say something changed, not with a bang or a blaze, but with a stillness so deep, even time seemed to pause and take a breath. In the corners of busy cities and the silence between scrolling screens, a whisper has started to echo. Something is unfolding. It's not chaos, not revolution, but something far more subtle, ancient, and irreversible. Not the end of the world, but the bending of its foundation. A shift not of borders or beliefs, but of awareness itself. A curtain is moving, and depending on how you look at it, it's either falling or rising, and once it moves, nothing will ever be the same. You'll either awaken or remain asleep. What is this great shift? Who is sensing it? Why are so many feeling unsettled, like something invisible is calling their name? And most importantly, are you truly ready to face what's coming? Before we go deeper into this path of quiet awakenings and uncomfortable truths, take a moment like this video, share it with someone who's also been feeling out of sync with the world, and subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom. And if you already feel the ground shifting beneath your feet, consider joining the journey fully. As the old world dissolves, we'll walk this path together. Number 1. The shift has already begun. The great shift isn't coming, it has already begun, quietly and almost invisibly, not with fanfare or chaos, but with subtle whispers in the depths of our inner world. For many between the ages of 30 and 65, this change can feel like a low hum beneath the surface of life, a gentle unease that something is no longer quite right, yet difficult to name. Time seems to move strangely. A day can feel like a week, and moments that used to fly by now stretch out endlessly. There's an increasing awareness that the pace, the tone, and the energy of life are different. You might feel like the world is slightly out of alignment, like tuning into a radio station just off frequency, still audible, but fuzzy, unclear. These sensations are not signs of something being wrong with you. Instead, they are signs that something deeper is awakening within you. The subtle discomfort, the dreamy disconnection, even the unusual coincidences and repeating number patterns that catch your eye, these are not accidents. They are signs that your perception is expanding, picking up vibrations and truths that lie just beyond the surface of what most people call normal. You are beginning to feel the first waves of the great shift, and they start not outside, but in the quiet corridors of your soul. As this inner awakening begins to unfold, the outer world starts to reflect it back in unexpected ways. You may notice that the fabric of reality itself seems to be softening. Children speak with clarity about past lives or spiritual truths that seem far beyond their years, as if their souls remember things that the mind has yet to learn. Conversations that once flowed with ease may now feel disconnected or shallow. You might sense that some people you've known for years feel distant now, almost hollow, as though their presence has dimmed or shifted into another layer of reality. Even technology, once reliable and obedient, begins to act strangely. Devices freeze, messages are delayed, systems glitch, and it's not always explainable. Animals may behave differently, too staring into spaces, becoming unusually clingy or alert to something unseen. These aren't just random events, they are signs of an energetic recalibration. Nature, machines, even time itself, everything is responding to an underlying shift that is moving through all of existence. The world isn't falling apart, it's being rearranged at a level we're only beginning to understand. And then, there are those who are already deep into this journey, the ones quietly walking through life with a sense of standing between two worlds. If you're one of them, you may find that the ordinary no longer satisfies. The daily routines, the goals you once chased, the identities you clung to, they begin to feel thin, like old clothes that no longer fit. Places that used to bring comfort may now feel strange, unfamiliar, or even energetically heavy. This doesn't mean you're lost, it means you're in transition. The old world, built on habits and assumptions, is dissolving around you, not because it's being destroyed, but because you are outgrowing it. You've started to see through the illusion of certainty. You've begun to realize that life is more than ticking boxes or chasing external validation. And while this awareness can bring moments of isolation or confusion, it also carries a quiet joy, knowing that something more true, more aligned with who you really are, is unfolding. The shift doesn't demand you leave everything behind overnight. It invites you to live with greater clarity, deeper presence, and a renewed commitment to what truly matters. In modern life, these experiences may clash with the expectations placed on us to be productive, rational, always in control. But the truth is, part of this shift is learning to let go of control and instead listen. Listen to the discomfort. Listen to your body when it feels out of sync. Pay attention when your usual goals no longer inspire you, or when you crave silence more than stimulation. This is not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. You are being invited to slow down and realign with what your soul has always known but your mind may have forgotten. If relationships are changing, if work feels less meaningful, if you're pulled to spend time in nature, meditate, or simply breathe more deeply, it's not a phase. It's part of the unfolding. So how do you move forward? With gentleness, with awareness, and most importantly, with trust. Trust that this shift is not here to harm you, but to guide you home to yourself. Use this time to simplify where you can. Reflect on what truly nourishes your spirit. Surround yourself with people who honor your growth, and learn to discern which voices are lifting you up versus keeping you stuck. This is not about becoming better, it's about becoming real. The signs of the shift are everywhere, and they are personal. Your experience of them may be quiet, yet profound. The more you notice, the more you tune in, the more life begins to make a new kind of sense. The shift is not something to fear, it is a doorway to a more conscious, more connected way of being. And as you walk through it, step by step, you are helping reshape the world, not through force, but through presence. You are part of something sacred. And even if it feels like nothing will ever be the same again, maybe that's exactly what we need. Number 2. Ancient prophecies predicted this. All around the world, from the deserts of the Hopi to the temples of ancient India, from Mayan stone carvings to sacred biblical parables, humanity has been whispering the same message across time. Something big is coming. Not an apocalypse, not a violent end, but a deep, undeniable shift in how we live, think, feel, and see the world. It's what many have called the Great Shift, a moment that shakes us from the inside out and leaves nothing quite the same. You might ask yourself, why have so many different cultures, with no connection to each other, spoken of a similar event? What were they really trying to tell us? Let's start with the Hopi, wise keepers of Earth's ancient memory. They warned of a time they called the Day of Purification, a time when the Earth would begin to cleanse herself, not to punish, but to reset. And during this time, we, the people, would face a sacred choice: walk a path of harmony or continue down a road of separation, greed, and disconnection. Doesn't that feel strangely familiar to what we're facing today with rising tensions, climate shifts, and the collective emotional exhaustion so many are feeling? Then there are the Mayans, often misunderstood in pop culture as doomsday prophets. But their calendars didn't predict the end of everything. They marked the end of an age, the close of one cosmic cycle and the birth of another. They spoke of a new era, not of fear, but of awakening. They believed we were heading toward a time where consciousness would evolve, and those ready to embrace it would begin to see life differently. Can you feel that invitation? To not run from change, but lean into it? In the East, the Vedic scriptures describe the Kali Yuga, which we are said to be living through right now. It's known as an age of darkness and illusion, where truth becomes hard to see and the material world seduces the soul. But even this age has a purpose. According to these ancient teachings, Kali Yuga eventually gives way to a golden dawn time of returning to Dharma, to truth, to inner clarity. Isn't it interesting that even the darkest chapters are part of a larger story that bends toward light? The Bible, too, carries its own symbolic language. The parable of the wheat and the chaff speaks not of punishment, but of separation by resonance. That which holds truth and integrity will remain. That which is hollow and false will naturally fall away. No force needed, just the rising of vibration, the tuning of the human spirit to a higher frequency. Could it be that what we're experiencing now, the confusion, the breakdown of systems, the inner tug of Waris, simply the old being gently swept aside to make space for the real? What's remarkable is that all these traditions, from different continents and eras, all speak of the same moment, a tipping point. Not a literal line in the sand, but a subtle, spiritual shift. A fork in the road. Some may step into a new rhythm of living with more clarity, compassion, and connection. Others may stay rooted in fear and resistance, clinging to what's crumbling. And that's okay. This shift isn't about forcing change. It's about choosing moment by moment what kind of world we want to live in and who we're choosing to be within it. So what if the great shift isn't coming someday in the distant future, but is already here? What if this is the very moment the ancients were talking about? The unraveling of the old isn't chaos, it's the space being cleared for a new consciousness to bloom. The breakdown of systems isn't the end, it's the birth pangs of something wiser and more balanced. Doesn't it change how you see the headlines, the uncertainty, even your personal struggles? These ancient prophecies weren't meant to frighten us. They were meant to awaken us, to remind us that we carry within us the power to choose which direction we go. We are not victims of destiny, we are co-creators of it. Each of us is being invited to tune in, to remember who we are beneath the noise, and to rise into a deeper alignment with truth. As one Hopi elder said, we are the ones we've been waiting for. So, here's the real question. Are you listening? Can you feel the call to live from a place of integrity, balance, and inner peace, even when the world around you seems uncertain? Can you let go of the fear of change and step into the possibility that this moment, this exact one, was always meant to bring you home to your highest self? The lesson here is simple but powerful. Change is not your enemy, unconscious living is. The more you resist, the more painful the shift. But the more you listen, align, and surrender to the higher rhythm of life, the more gracefully you move through this time. The prophecies weren't just stories from the past, they are a mirror held up to you now. And in that mirror, you may just see a new world being born through you. Number 3. The true nature of the shift. What we're living through right now is not the end of the world, it's the end of how we used to experience it. Don't look for signs in breaking news or natural disasters. This shift isn't about collapsing mountains or burning skies. It's quieter, subtler, but far more profound. What's truly happening is a shift in frequency, a transformation of consciousness itself. Every single one of us is made of energy, and that energy carries a frequency. It's shaped by our thoughts, our emotions, our choices, and the intentions behind them. And this frequency is not just an invisible echo, it determines what kind of life we align with. As the Buddha once said, what you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. This isn't just a poetic truth, it's the real engine of the shift. Right now, the world is no longer dividing by race, religion, borders, or beliefs. Instead, it's dividing by vibration, by the energy we carry and the truths we choose to live by. You may have noticed some people seem lighter these days, more aligned, more present. They're not perfect, but they're listening deeply to themselves. They're learning to live from the inside out, guided not by fear or external pressure, but by a quiet inner knowing. These people are tuning in to the frequency of truth, compassion, and freedom. Their lives may not be easy, but there's a kind of harmony in how they move through the world. Things start to connect. Life responds to them differently. And then, there are others good people, no doubt, who are still trapped in the old patterns. They're caught in the frequency of fear, control, denial. Life for them feels heavier, more chaotic. Systems they used to rely on now feel like cages. There's a desperation in the old energy, because it knows its time is ending. But make no mistake, this isn't about one group being better than another. It's not about being right or wrong. The Buddha reminds us, just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life. This shift is simply showing each of us where we are and inviting us to adjust. This time we're in it's like a sorting, but not in the dramatic way we're used to seeing in stories or movies. It's much gentler than that. People are naturally being pulled toward the experiences that match their inner state. It's as if our inner frequency acts like a magnet, drawing us toward the timeline that resonates with who we truly are. And this is the quiet miracle of it all. No one is going to hand you a golden ticket. There's no judgment from above, no external event that decides your fate. The real choice is being made in every moment, in how you show up, what you give your attention to, how deeply you honor your truth. Each breath, each thought, each act of awareness is like planting a seed in the soil of the present. These seeds grow into the future you're about to live. So the shift isn't a place we go, it's a way we live. It's not somewhere far away in the stars. It's right here, in the way you choose to respond when life gets difficult, in how you treat others when no one is watching, in whether you let fear run your life or you choose to come back to stillness. As the Zen saying goes, the way is not in the sky, the way is in the heart. And in this great transition, the most powerful thing you can do is simply tune into your own heart, clean the lens of your awareness, and walk gently yet steadily toward what feels true. In doing so, you're not just saving yourself, you're contributing to a rising tide that will lift us all. If you've watched this far, you're already sensing the power of the great shift and how it's transforming our world. Comment below with "Embrace the shift" to affirm your commitment to navigating this new era with wisdom and clarity. Don't go anywhere, there's still so much insight ahead that will help you thrive in a world that will never be the same. Stay until the end to unlock the keys to moving forward with strength and purpose. Number 4. The personal impact of the shift. The great shift we are now living through is not merely a story of global events or sweeping societal change. It is a story of us, each of us, from the inside out. Long before the outer world visibly transforms, this shift begins quietly within the heart of the individual. You may not even notice it at first, or you might sense something stirring deep inside you, unsettling, yet profound. This is not a random experience. It is the beginning of a deep personal transformation that many are now called to walk through. One of the earliest signs that you are moving through the shift can feel subtle, yet undeniable. You might find yourself overcome by emotions that seem to arise out of nowhere, waves of grief, awe, compassion, longing, or even restlessness that you cannot explain through ordinary means. Time itself may begin to feel strange, perhaps speeding up, slowing down, or losing its usual rhythm. Vivid dreams, rich with symbols or messages that seem oddly significant, may visit you at night. You might feel more connected to nature, more sensitive to the suffering of others, or more aware of the deeper questions in life. These experiences can be confusing, particularly if you try to interpret them through the old frameworks of logic and reason. But know this, They are not symptoms of instability or weakness. These are signals of awakening. Your inner world is adjusting to a new, energetic reality, and your soul is beginning to remember a deeper truth that has long been dormant. In a world that often values external achievement and distraction, this turning inward can feel disorienting. Yet it is a profound invitation to listen to the quiet wisdom within you. As this inner shift deepens, you may begin to notice losses of people, roles, or identities that once felt central to your life. Relationships that once sustained you may suddenly dissolve or lose their resonance. Careers or passions that once gave you purpose may begin to feel hollow or constrictive. Social circles that once felt like home may no longer align with who you are becoming. This unraveling can be one of the most painful aspects of the shift, especially when there is no clear reason or justification you can offer to yourself or to others. Yet these losses are not random acts of fate. They are part of a sacred clearing, making space for the next version of yourself to emerge. In modern life, we are conditioned to cling tightly to the familiar, whether it is a job, a relationship, or a sense of self even when it no longer serves our growth. The shift asks us, sometimes gently and sometimes with great force, to release what no longer fits so that we can step into greater alignment with who we truly are. Though this process can feel like a kind of death, it is also a profound rebirth. For many who undergo this journey, a stage comes that mystics have long called the dark night of the soul. This is not just a poetic phrase. It is a deeply real and often painful experience where everything familiar seems to collapse. The structures that once held your identity, social roles, personal beliefs, material successes may dissolve, leaving you feeling raw, vulnerable, and uncertain. It can feel like a breakdown, but in truth, it is a breakthrough. In modern terms, this is the moment when the egoth collection of masks we wear to navigate the world loses its grip. What remains is not the polished version of yourself you have presented to others, but something more authentic and undeniable. The dark night strips away illusions, forcing you to confront what is real. Though this stage is challenging, it is also necessary, for it prepares the ground for the emergence of your truest self. The pain, confusion, and solitude of this period are not signs of failure. They are evidence that something ancient and wise within you is awakening. Throughout this process, it is vital to remember that you are not meant to fix yourself, you are meant to rediscover yourself. The modern world often bombards us with the message that we must constantly improve, optimize, and repair ourselves to be worthy. The Great Shift offers a different invitation to remember who you already are beneath the layers of conditioning and expectation. In doing so, you come to see that you are not breaking down, you are breaking open. The old world that once defined you no longer fits because you are expanding beyond it. As you move through this transformation, be gentle with yourself. Embrace practices that anchor you: mindful breathing, quiet reflection, time in nature, honest conversations with trusted companions. Seek wisdom in simplicity. Remember that countless others are walking this path alongside you, even if it feels lonely at times. The world is indeed changing, and nothing will ever be the same. But within this great upheaval lies a profound opportunity to live not from fear or habit, but from the deep well of wisdom and compassion that resides within you. Trust this process, honor your journey, and know that you are becoming more aligned with the truth of who you are meant to be. Number 5. The old world vs. the new. As you walk through life today, you are living through one of the most profound transformations humanity has ever known, what many now call the Great Shift. And whether you realize it or not, this shift is reshaping everything: the way we think, the way we feel, and even the very fabric of the world we inhabit. One thing is certain: nothing will ever be the same. Now, more than ever, a quiet divergence is taking place not across countries or continents, but in the way we perceive reality itself. Two parallel worlds are unfolding side by side, each vibrating at its own frequency, each calling to the deepest parts of our being. And the most important part? The choice between them is not some distant decision waiting in the future. It is happening here and now, in every thought you think, every feeling you allow, every value you uphold, and every action you embody. So let's explore this choice that faces us all. The first of these two realities is what many describe as the synthetic world, a reality built on illusion. This old world has been constructed over decades, even centuries, around systems of control, consumption, and constant distraction. At first glance, it offers comfort. It feels familiar. It gives us predictability and endless streams of stimulation. But here's the trade-off. It comes at the cost of authenticity. In this world, artificial connections take the place of genuine community. Algorithms dictate what we see and think. Screens replace true presence. Convenience overshadows meaning. Success is measured not by the depth of your life, but by the height of your status. Do you ever notice how this world keeps you busy, always plugged in, constantly entertained, but rarely invites you to ask deeper questions about who you really are or what truly matters? This is no accident. The synthetic world thrives on keeping us in survival mode fueled by fear and unconscious patterns. It isn't inherently evil, it's simply built upon outdated programming rooted in scarcity and control. Yet, for many of us, something within begins to resist. The more we awaken, the more this world feels hollow, as if the soul can no longer breathe within its walls. Have you ever felt that restlessness, that yearning for something more real, more alive? Now, contrast this with the organic world, a reality rooted in truth, presence, and alignment. This new world isn't emerging from external systems of power. It is rising from within the human spirit, from the wisdom of nature, and from the sacred intelligence of life itself. It invites us to slow down, to reconnect with the natural world, to listen deeply to our own inner wisdom. Here, truth is not handed down by outside authorities, but discovered in the quiet moments of reflection. In this world, value is no longer defined by how much you produce or how fast you move. Instead, it is measured by how deeply you live, how present you are, and how authentically you show up in each moment. Simplicity becomes sacred. Relationships are forged through genuine resonance, not mere convenience. Time begins to flow differently, less like a race, more like a rhythm. And life itself starts to feel guided by an unseen intelligence rather than forced by relentless striving. This is not about escaping reality, it is about returning to it. Returning to what has always been true beneath the noise and distractions. Can you feel that call to remember, to reconnect? Here's where it all comes together. The great shift is not a single dramatic moment of choice. It is not some final fork in the road. It is a million small choices, made moment by moment, breath by breath, day after day. Each time you choose presence over distraction, you move closer to the new world. Each time you choose curiosity over certainty or truth over conformity, you step into greater alignment with the organic, living reality. Your habits, your thoughts, your emotions, they are not simply reactions, they are votes. With every choice you make, you are casting a vote for the world you wish to live in. And here is a powerful truth that many overlook. The shift doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. You are not a passive observer of this transformation, you are an active participant. Every moment offers an invitation to align more deeply with the frequency of the world you wish to create. So I invite you to reflect. What small choices are you making today? Are they drawing you closer to a life of truth, presence, and alignment, keeping you tethered to the illusions of the old world? Remember, it is not about perfection, It is about awareness and intention. The great shift is not reserved for the spiritually elite or the exceptionally wise. It is accessible to each and every one of us, here and now. By choosing to live more consciously, to honor simplicity, to deepen your connections, and to trust your inner wisdom, you become a living bridge between these two worlds. You help anchor the new reality for yourself and for those around you. The key lessons are clear. Choose presence over distraction, truth over illusion, and alignment over convenience. The new world is not something we wait for, it is something we embody, moment by moment. And as you walk this path, know this: every small step matters, every conscious breath counts, and the world you long for is already being born through you. Number 6. How to cross over. The shift isn't a doorway someone opens for you. It's a path you carve with your choices, your energy, and your truth. Crossing into the new reality doesn't require escaping this world. It requires showing up in it more honestly, more fully, and more awake than ever before. 1. Let go of the false, return to the real. To move into the higher frequency of the emerging world, you must begin by shedding what isn't real. The roles you've played, the masks you've worn, the need to be accepted or understood, these were never your essence. Let them fall away. This is a time for radical authenticity. The more you align with your true self, raw, imperfect, and honest, the more naturally you resonate with the new frequency. The shift doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for truth. 2. Live with presence and courage. Every moment offers a choice: to numb or to feel, to hide or to show up, to follow the crowd or to listen inward. Crossing over requires courage, not the loud kind, but the quiet bravery of being present with yourself and others, even when it's uncomfortable. Awakening happens in ordinary moments. The deep breath before a reaction, the pause before a decision, the willingness to stay conscious when it's easier to check out. Presence is your portal. 3. Release the illusion of control and the weight of fear. You don't need to force the shift. You only need to stop resisting it. The separation between worlds doesn't happen by effort, it happens by energy. The more you release fear and let go of the need to control outcomes, the more naturally you flow into alignment with the world that's already waiting for you. What you're letting go of isn't safety, it's illusion. And what you're stepping into isn't danger, it's deeper trust. 4. Follow intuition over logic. This journey isn't guided by intellect, it's led by the heart, the body, the spirit. In a world obsessed with answers, the shift calls you to listen to questions, the quiet inner nudges, the goosebumps, the synchronicities, the strange timing of life rearranging itself just when you need it most. Logic may try to talk you out of it, but your intuition knows the way home. Trust the signals, even when they defy explanation. They're not random, they're resonant. Crossing over isn't about going somewhere new. It's about remembering who you are and allowing that truth to lead you forward. The shift doesn't demand you change the world, it asks that you change your relationship with it, from fear to presence, from doubt to alignment. And once you begin to walk that path with sincerity, you won't need to force the transition, you'll become it. You've made it this far because you feel it, the great shift is real, and the future belongs to those who adapt. Comment below with "Ready for the new era" if you're prepared to take charge of your journey through these changing times. Don't miss what's coming next. Essential wisdom awaits that will help you lead with courage and clarity. Number 7. The ones who are called. If you are hearing these words today, know that it is no mere coincidence. In this vast web of existence, threads are woven with purpose, sometimes beyond our conscious understanding. You did not arrive here by chance. Something deep within you, your intuition, your heart's quiet wisdom, has guided you to this moment. As the Buddha once said, there are no random acts in the universe. Everything arises dependent upon causes and conditions. You are part of a great unfolding, a vast and subtle movement of awakening that is sweeping across the world. Across borders, languages, and beliefs, a network of awakening souls is forming, a silent brotherhood and sisterhood, united not by appearance or affiliation, but by a shared inner resonance, a frequency felt rather than seen. Even if you have never met another on this path, you may have felt this connection, a recognition that goes beyond words, like seeing an old friend in a stranger's eyes. You, my friend, are one of those who are called. You are here not to retreat from the world, but to root yourself firmly within it, bringing light where there is shadow, clarity where there is confusion. Thousands of candles can be lighted from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened, the Buddha taught. You are that candle. Your awakening serves not only your personal growth, but becomes a beacon for others. Your presence itself becomes a form of silent permission, inviting others to heal, to awaken, to remember. And in a world often clouded by fear, division, and distraction, your clarity is an act of profound service. Know this well. Your purpose is not to escape the challenges of this era, nor to dwell in fantasies of some distant utopia. You are here to anchor the light of wisdom and compassion in the very heart of this shifting world. This is the essence of the great Shiftan era, where old paradigms are dissolving and new ways of being are slowly emerging. As this transformation unfolds, your task is to embody the qualities of the new earth with each choice you make. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment, reminds the Buddha. With every breath, you plant seeds of peace and truth, especially in spaces where deception and fear once held sway. Each moment lived with kindness, awareness, and courage is a moment contributing to the greater whole. Importantly, you need no special title, no grand stage. You do not need to have every answer. The path ahead will not always be clear, and that is perfectly okay. What matters is your sincerity, your grounded presence, and your willingness to live in harmony with the values of compassion, wisdom, and interconnectedness. In a world often asleep to these deeper truths, simply staying awake becomes a radical act. Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace, says the Dhammapada. In your daily life, whether raising a family, working in a busy office, tending to your garden, or helping a neighbor, you are called to be that word of peace, that steady presence amidst the turbulence. Understand this also. In choosing to walk this path, you serve as a bridge, not only between different people and ideas, but between the fading structures of the old world and the emerging possibilities of a new one. You help knit together what was with what can be, carrying forward timeless wisdom into an uncertain future. This role may often feel invisible or unacknowledged, yet its significance cannot be overstated. It is in the small, consistent acts of integrity and compassion that the new earth is quietly born. Take heart then, and trust in the unfolding of your journey. You are not alone, though it may sometimes feel so. The invisible web of awakening connects you to countless others who are also answering the call in their own way. And remember, there is no such thing as being late or unprepared in this process. You are exactly where you need to be, and the wisdom of life itself is guiding your every step. As the Zen master Shunryu Suzuki wisely put it, each of you is perfect the way you are, and you can use a little improvement. Walk forward with humility, courage, and an open heart, knowing that your presence here and now matters more than you may ever fully realize. As we move through this great shift together, remember, you are not alone on this journey. Every small choice you make, every act of presence and compassion helps to shape the new world that is quietly being born through us all. If today's message resonated with you, please take a moment to like this video, Share it with someone who may need these words, and subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss the upcoming videos as we continue to explore this unfolding path together. Until next time, may you walk with clarity, courage, and an open heart. The shift is here, and together we'll meet it with wisdom.